So guys, you already know the A.J. Brown trade rumors have been going around for a while now, and honestly, most fans thought it would eventually fade away and turn into nothing. But this week, the rumors actually got louder. And the more I looked into everything happening behind the scenes, the more complicated this situation started to feel. Because when you really pay attention to the reports, the reactions around the team, and some of the timing behind all of this, it feels like there could actually be something going on here. This story is not as simple as most people think it is. So, today, we're going to break everything down, talk about where these rumors started, what's happening behind the scenes, and whether there's any real chance A.J. Brown could actually be traded. What's up, Eagles? Welcome to the NFL Playbook, Eagles. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So, if you really look at this A.J. Brown trade talk, there's actually a pattern forming in everything that's happened in Philadelphia this offseason. And if you pay attention closely, it becomes hard to ignore. First, A.J. Brown was not included in the Eagles' 2026 schedule release video, and when people first noticed it, a lot of fans said it was probably nothing, just a simple editing or production choice. Honestly, at first, I thought the same thing too, but the more you think about it, the stranger it feels. Because we're not talking about just any player here. This is your top wide receiver, one of the biggest offensive weapons on the team. A guy like that is usually front and center in every major promotional push. So when he's missing from something this important, people notice that. Teams notice that. Second, A.J. Brown has not publicly shut down these rumors, and that matters because this is not a quiet player. He usually speaks his mind and addresses things directly, so right now, his silence honestly feels louder than any denial would.
And third, this is the part that really made me pause. There are reports suggesting A.J. Brown has been looking at condos in the Boston Seaport area. Now, maybe that's just a coincidence, but when trade rumors involving New England are already floating around, that detail naturally raises questions. So, when you put all of this together, you start seeing multiple signals pointing in the same direction, and we haven't even gotten into the financial side yet, because that's where the situation gets even more interesting.
Now, here's the thing that a lot of people are missing when they talk about this trade. They focus on the talent. They focus on what A.J. Brown means on the field. And yeah, that part is obvious. But the real key here is the cap situation, because this is where the Eagles actually have control and where the timing suddenly starts to matter a lot. A.J. Brown signed a 3-year, $96 million extension back in 2024. His cap hit in 2026 is $23 million, but the number that really changes everything is this: $76 million in dead cap. That's massive. If the Eagles move him before June 1st, that entire amount hits the books in 1 year, which creates a serious financial strain on the roster. But if they move him after June 1st, that dead cap gets spread out in a way that significantly reduces the immediate impact. And in a league where every dollar affects roster construction, that difference is not small. It's the difference between flexibility and restriction. And that's exactly why this rumor keeps circling around that early June window. That's why people keep pointing toward that timing, because if this is something the Eagles are even considering, the structure of the contract basically forces the decision into a specific financial window. And Howie Roseman doesn't operate on emotion. He operates on timing, value, and cap efficiency. Now, does that mean this offense would be fine without him? No, not even close. A.J. Brown changes everything for this passing game. His ability to win physically, his dominance in contested situations, and what he brings in high-pressure red zone moments are not traits you casually replace. Defenses adjust their entire coverage structure because of him, and when a player has that kind of impact, the ripple effect shows up everywhere else on the field. But at the same time, this front office has quietly been preparing for flexibility, not in a dramatic way, and not in a way that signals panic, but in the way smart organizations operate when they understand long-term cap cycles. There's been gradual investment at the position group, and some of the recent moves suggest they've at least considered scenarios where they're not overly dependent on a single receiver profile.
And that's where we get into what this deal could actually bring back, because this is the point where things stop being just rumors and start turning into real decisions for the team. At this stage, it's not only about whether A.J. Brown stays or goes, but also about what the Eagles would realistically get in return and how that would help them move forward with building the roster. Now, let's see. When it comes to the teams who are actually interested in A.J. Brown, two names have come up: the New England Patriots and the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Patriots are the biggest one here. Adam Schefter himself has been connecting A.J. Brown to New England Patriots publicly, and when Schefter talks, you listen. The Jaguars, on the other hand, came in as a surprise. Insider Jason LaCanfora connected A.J. Brown to Jacksonville, and it actually makes sense when you look at how desperate Trevor Lawrence is for a true #1 receiver. Now, let me tell you the interesting part. What does A.J. Brown actually want? And here is where it gets telling. This man has never been shy about speaking his mind, ever. So the fact that he has not come out and denied any of these rumors publicly says a lot. And on top of that, reports say he has been looking at condos in Boston's Seaport area. You do not go condo shopping in Boston unless some part of you is already open to that move. So it is pretty clear that A.J. Brown is not exactly fighting to stay in Philadelphia right now. Right now, the package that's being talked about right now includes a 2028 first-round pick along with some extra pieces depending on how the deal is structured. In some scenarios, a young receiver like Kayshon Boutte from the Patriots could be part of the deal, or the Eagles could instead push for additional mid-round picks if they want more flexibility going forward. And I'll be honest, a 2028 first-round pick might not sound very exciting right away, but in NFL terms, it's actually a very valuable asset because it's not just about one player, it's about control over the future. That pick gives you a chance to draft a young, cost-controlled starter, and in today's NFL, those rookie contracts are one of the most important tools a team can have. And when you look at how the Eagles operate, this starts to make more sense. The Eagles don't usually make random moves. Over the years, they've shown a clear pattern. When they move on from a big player, it's usually followed by a plan to stay competitive long-term. It's not a full rebuild, it's more of a controlled reset where they try to stay in contention while reshaping the roster. Now, just to bring in the latest update on this situation, this is coming from Bleacher Report, and it adds a little more clarity to what's actually going on behind the scenes. Even though the A.J. Brown's New England Patriots rumors picked up before the 2026 NFL Draft, nothing is actually confirmed right now. According to ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, a Patriots source has made it clear there is nothing binding in place with the Eagles and no official agreement for A.J. Brown at this stage. At the same time, Fowler did mention something interesting. There could still be a kind of wink and nod understanding between both teams, but nothing becomes real until it is officially done, and this is where the timing starts to matter. If a trade does happen, the post-June 1 window has always made the most sense because of the contract structure. If A.J. Brown is traded before June 1, the Eagles would take a much bigger dead cap hit. But after June 1, that number drops a lot, which makes it much easier for Philadelphia to manage financially. That is also where Adam Schefter comes into the picture. Schefter has suggested that if anything happens, it would most likely happen after June 1. He also said it would not be difficult to finalize once both sides fully agree on the structure. In fact, the return being discussed is believed to include a 2028 first-round pick going back to Philadelphia. And then when you zoom out a bit, you start noticing a few more things. The Eagles did not go heavy on wide receivers in the draft the way you would normally expect if they were fully planning long-term around A.J. Brown. Instead, they added depth pieces, which quietly suggests they are at least preparing for different possibilities. On the Patriots side, they also did not fully load up at receiver. They added some pieces, but their group still has question marks. Outside of names like Romeo Doubs, Mack Hollins, and Kayshon Boutte, there is no clear #1 option. That is exactly why a player like A.J. Brown becomes such a strong fit for them on paper. And just to be clear, A.J. Brown is still producing at a very high level. 4 straight seasons over 1,000 yards, consistent dominance, and even in 2025, he still posted strong numbers with over 1,000 yards and nearly 13 yards per catch. So this is not about decline. This is about value, timing, and team direction.
And when you put all of this together, the contract timing, the reporting from Jeremy Fowler, the comments from Adam Schefter, the roster moves on both sides, and now the latest update from Bleacher Report, it starts to feel like this is one of those situations that is not confirmed yet, but also not just random noise anymore. It's sitting in that middle zone where nothing is official, but everything is starting to connect. And that is exactly why this story is worth watching very closely right now.